Ding,
These
oh,
are not the
ding,
tacos you were
yes,
looking
ding,
for.
yes. What's up?
Hey guys, what's up? It's Waffle here, and I'm here with a new Jungle Lee Sin guide. Lee Sin's one of my favorite champs, so I hope you enjoy. For Lee Sin's runes, there's a lot of ways to rune him out. My personal preference is to go with armor penetration, flat armor pen, reds, flat armor seals, magic resist per level glyphs, and health quintessences, and you can add some magic resist armor, anything like that into the quints. Like, it's not a big deal, but these three I generally keep the same. And there's another option, another one that I kind of use is my 80 carry page, but I can carry it over into Lee Sin and other people. Yeah. For masteries, there's a couple ways for Lee Sin. My favorite way is 9-21-0, 9 points in offense, 21 points in defense, and 0 points in utility, because he's generally a tankier champion. You want him to be in the fray, you know. But you can also go with a 21-9-0 if you want to be more offensive with Lee Sin. For leveling Lee Sin's skills, they're quite. You can honestly level any of his skills and you'll be perfectly fine. I usually tend to max Q. I start with 1 point E for the AoE damage and attack speed slow on the mobs, and then I go with Q for level 2 gank, and then I grab a point in W for going back to the jungle, sustain, and everything like that. It's a great move. And then I start maxing my Q, make sure to get my points in R whenever I can, and yeah. Building Lee Sin can get kind of tricky. There's quite a few ways to build him, and I guess there's wrong ways, but there's a lot of right ways. First off, almost always I start with boots and 3 health pots. There are other ways to do it, but boots and 3 health pots has always been my favorite option and probably the best option. And then from there, on your first couple of buys, you can either go Wriggle's Lantern, Heart of Gold, and make sure to buy wards, or other options, you can go double Dorians, Phage, and still wards, because wards are always good. And with these boots, early mid game, you want to upgrade them to Merc Shreds, Ninja Tabby, or Mobility. And you know, his builds can differ so much. These are just a couple of examples, and as these build into late game, this is more of a tanky build, this is more of a high damage build, depending on what your build or what your team needs. This damage build can generally build late game into something like this, although Trinity Force can sometimes be transferred into Frozen Mallet and get rid of the Warmogs, Atmas, and then go with Bloodthirster or something like that. And yeah, this is the big example of a damage. You still want to be tanky as Lee Sin. Lee Sin always wants to be tanky, but you have quite a bit of damage with this build. The Trinity Force early on and everything like that. And the tankier build, this is how I usually picture it. You got Merc Shreds, you got the Wriggles, you got the Frozen Mallet into Guardian Angel pretty early on, and Rainowinds and Atmas. Then you trade out the Wriggles for either Bloodthirster or like Force Nature or something like that. And that just makes you so ridiculously tanky. And really, the build really depends on what the enemy team is and what your team is. So nothing's really right or wrong here. Generally, you want to start at race and then go to red, and then I gank from there. But there are other options. You can always go blue if you really want. I don't really recommend it, since Lee Sin's such a solid level 2 ganker, and he doesn't really use blue buff too well. And if you start at red, then you can gank from here, or another option is to go straight to wolves and then blue buff and then gank top at level 3. Basically at level 2 I generally gank. As you can see, I'm setting up bot lane because that's the place where red is near, and just kind of go in and kill. I honestly don't even know if I needed to be there, and I didn't pop exhaust because that guy just died so fast, but you know, that's always good. So we got first blood off a pretty easy gank. Basically, just make sure to clear all the camps whenever you can, and basically I just cleared Rays, and I saw top was pretty easy to gank, so I went up there, and we'll see how that goes. Singe is pretty responsive, so I'm able to, he pulls flash, and then my Q miraculously lands, and I pick up another kill, so we're 2-0 already. Since it generally takes me a little bit to get the blue buff, I almost always give my first blue to my mid lane. It always just helps him in lane, helps him get a few kills if he can, and you know, Lee Sin doesn't need blue buff. But if you're behind, then you can usually take the first one without anyone really caring. But you know, it's always nice to be helpful. Here, as I was trying to gank top, I catch Mundo off guard, and I exhaust him, and Singe is able to pick up this kill. Pretty easy kill, and then I go to invade his jungle since he's killed. Here I ward his red buff so that we can see him whenever his red comes up, and we can gank him or take it for ourselves, and that's always really fun, I guess. And here's a gank middle going on. I don't really do anything, I just shield her, but she gets a kill, and that's always good. Good job for Ahri. Ahri just destroys TF though, I think. Here my Graves died, and so I'm just coming down to help him out here. There's two really low health opponents, and I'm pretty sure, I had no idea what Blitzcrank's health was, so I kind of let him die, but he grabs a kill and I grab a kill, so it ends up being worth it. And yeah, there's 2 more kills for us. I'm 3-0-2 already at 6 minutes into the game. 6:30, I guess. I see bottom lane getting ganked by TF, so I go to try to help out. I do a pretty dumb thing here in a second where I miss my Q over the wall just completely blindly. I probably could have picked up a triple here, but instead I missed my Q. So I guess I pick up a double, and my team picks up the third. So you know, that's perfectly fine. I decided to kick the MF because once you know her health, you can just kick it for the kill, land my Q, and get the double kill. Here my Singe asked for a dive, so I just, you know, kind of went with his demands and picked up a free easy kill top lane. You know, if someone asks for help somewhere, you know, it's always good to help them out, and just keeps everyone happy, and that was an easy kill. He called for it. It was just such an easy kill. So yeah. Here I see TF in the mid lane, so I walk through the long way, and this is just pretty much a really easy kill. 2 people coming in from behind of a really unfortunate TF, and I kick him as he ults, so he can't ult away, and Ahri charms at the same time. So there's no way he's getting out of there with 2 reasonable people on him. In this scenario right here, I waste a lot of time bottom, and it doesn't really pay off. I just continue to kind of fail gank, and it's pretty poor on my part, but this MF was doing pretty well. And wait, oh, I lied. We got kill. We won game. So that was a good gank actually. It was later that I kind of failed, but anyway, as you can see, once we killed MF bottom, I signaled my team to go straight for dragon, because that's one of the huge objectives in the game, and it gets you a huge advantage early on. So if you ever kill mid lane, bot lane, or jungle, you should always just head for dragon, and keep that timed as always, and pick it up right when it spawns most of the time. It just gives a huge advantage for your team. This is where I kind of goof. I just kind of keep wandering around. I kind of assumed this Blitzcrank had his pull up, but I guess he didn't, so we didn't really accomplish anything, and I wasted way too much time down here. I just kept trying to gank, and you'll see in a second what ends up happening. I kind of get too greedy. As you can see, I go around, and they kind of suspect that, so they go drop a ward, but right as I land my Q, so I go back in for the kill, but she gets some really lucky shields off and manages to stay alive for a bit. I do manage to get the kill, and this Blitzcrank saves my life for a second, but then I got caught in the minions, and the jungler and everyone shows up. I decided to, as I leave, exhaust the MF, try to get my Graze a kill, but instead I got him killed and myself killed, and that was just poor decision on my part, but whatever. Here I see two low health opponents, so I jump through golems and try to catch one of them off. I see you deer, and then I see this juicy Lux, but I completely mixed my Q, which is 100% my fault. And then TF shows up, and this actually goes pretty well. I kick you deer into Lux and kill her with that, and then my Singe shows up, and I land a Q, try to steal the kill, but instead I get out of there and get 2 kills out of it, so that works too. As we get into the later game and how like the score is 25-10 right now, we just start diving them in their base pretty much, and we don't really care at this point. We have Singe who's really tanky, and we do what we want kind of, but we all kind of goof right here because we can't get out. So I just tank about 10 tower hits, and so does Blitzcrank and Singe. But this Lux is really not a great player, at least this game, and she's pulled over the ledge, and she flashes over. Unfortunately for us, but Mundo can't do that quite as much. And then this Lux stubbornly wanders back in, and I just W, Q, kill, and none of our people die. So TF ports in, so I'm probably gonna cut the video. But no, I try to juke out a little bit, but I kind of fail really hard. And me and Blitzcrank die. And yeah. And there's the surrender. The MF thought she could carry, but apparently the other team didn't think so. And I don't think we did either. So, good game. Hey guys, these are the end stats here. So I ended up going 11, 2, and 7 as Lee Sin jungle, and it went pretty well. As you can see from the scores, and make sure to rate, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I'll be sure to make more videos, more guides, more anything like that. Thanks, and see ya.